InvestorIdeas.com follows the money in investing in artificial intelligence. All the big companies are investing in AI and machine learning technology as a path to the future. Apple, Google, IBM, Intel, Microsoft, NVDA, Qualcomm, Tesla Motors, Square, Amazon, and a growing list of players. Investor Ideas is tracking the sector and recently attended Money 2020, where Steve Wozniak shared his thoughts to a packed session in the AI Deep Dive session. Here is a glimpse into the future of AI with thoughts from Steve, Amazon, Square, Morgan Stanley, HSBC, and a video just released from an emerging company, Gopher Protocol, trading on the OTCQB GOPH, that is using artificial intelligence to create what is believed to be the world's first smart drone.
I think it's hard to say what the AI will do to create like a new revenue stream, right? Like, I mean, in some sense, I think this will be the trend of what we see here, is that we're not going to be an AI company, we're a bank, right? But I think every company, whatever they are, is still going to do their kind of core business, and it's going to be how they do it, do it more efficiently. They deliver better service to customers, but ultimately, they're not going to. They're not going to create our autonomous vehicle sort of business, right? It'll be sort of AI and everything. So we're really thinking about it not as a standalone thing, but how do we make, more money in our existing business, from my case of essentially trading financial products, powered by AI, right? Rather than saying it's going to be a revenue stream kind of by itself.
Right, great. Okay, so moving along, Jeff, can you tell us a little bit about what you're working on in Morgan Stanley Wealth Management to sort of help your team of advisors make better choices?
Sure. So, AI is such a broad term. I think that there's two areas that are particularly interesting for financial services, and particularly in the case of wealth. So you're a financial advisor. You have 150, 200 clients that you're serving every day. What's your value proposition, right? Your value proposition is advice, right? It's emotional, smart advice that's delivered in a way that's consistent with the needs of the customer. And candidly, it's the perfect use case for AI, particularly in a world in which you have immense amounts of client interaction. So every in and outbound phone call that goes to our clients, every contact point, and imagine a world in which we're able to take the intellectual capital of the firm and take hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people's knowledge and put it into an infrastructure that allows that knowledge to be made accessible. So we have recently launched our Next Best Action platform. It essentially rates and ranks every single opportunity across every single client, across every single advisor, every single day, and essentially suggests to the advisor what they may want to engage this client about. And then what we do is we watch if that engagement point happened. We watch how the client responded or didn't respond. And the idea is that we're not trying to sell things anymore. The day of selling things, I think, are over. We want to find the things that our clients want and need. And that's a very different model. And by using sophisticated machine learning algorithms, we can quickly understand what's happening in the marketplace. Because one of the challenges we have is the recommendation that we thought made a lot of sense 6 hours ago may not actually make sense right now.
I think it's really about understanding the technology as it is, and thinking about how does that either replace or augment humans in what they do. But there's, at least for the current technology, right? Like there'll be probably people's jobs will become more freeform, perhaps more enjoyable, right? Because I don't think anybody sits there and thinks, well, the really great thing I want to do today is go through, these 1,000 trades and check that they were all booked exactly correct, right? But we have that. It's a kind of 4 eyes process. Right. What if your second pair of eyes was not, someone in the back office? What if it was just the computer?
Yeah, that's interesting because you bring up the social question is, I think people, when they see artificial intelligence and hear about machine learning, they think, oh my God, my job is going to go away. Jobs are going to go away. And Jeff, I think you answered the question a little bit earlier. I believe your view is that this is augmenting the advisor's work, not necessarily eliminating them.
Thompson Wynn, a head of data science at Square Capital and lending of Square. Thompson is also a visiting scholar, startup advisor, and founder of a company bought by Square in 2016. Thompson, welcome on stage to AI Deep Dive.
Hi everyone. Thanks for the introduction. So I'm Thompson Wynn. I run the data science team for Square Capital. Is there a clicker? Well, anyway, today I'm going to be talking about creating opportunity using AI to establish a more inclusive financial system. So in order to talk about machine learning or AI, we first have to talk about our end user and our customer. And for us, our customer is the small business. And so on the next slide, we see that there are 28 million small businesses in the United States. And these 28 million small businesses comprise 54% of all US sales and 66% of net new jobs since the 1970s. That means in the last 5 decades, this is the biggest driver of job creation in the United States. Since the 2008 financial crisis, traditional financial institutions have tightened up on credit. And so as a result, there's an unmet demand for credit at loan sizes that most small businesses need. On top of that, it's a cumbersome application process. You submit a bunch of PDFs, you go through a couple of interviews, and then after a week or two, you find out whether you get a loan or not. It's actually so onerous that 44% don't even get to the starting line. They decide not to apply. Of people who do apply, 27% are then denied or partially funded. And so there's an unmet demand and an unmet need that could be sort of addressed by smaller players. And so Square, I think most of you are familiar with Square by now, but just in case. Square was founded in 2008, and the goal of which is to facilitate credit card transactions. And so Square is the dongle you plug into your phone. We also have a chip reader, not surprisingly in the shape of a square, but it takes chip cards and contactless payments. 84% of small businesses have said that Square Capital has allowed them to grow. It really is buying that second coffee espresso machine, or hiring additional people for the holiday rush, or buying extra inventory for just for a busy season. And so, having set the stage for how our business works and the customer that we're trying to serve, machine learning and artificial intelligence allows us to service more people quicker and with fewer headcount. And we can still provide the same personalized experience for our 2 million sellers. And so for Square Capital in particular, you can't really apply for Square Capital. We pre-screen you ahead of time with not just a set of heuristic tests, but a series of machine learning models into, for example, your revenue forecast, your growth processing volume forecasting, your overall eligibility, and then your probability of default if we were to give you a loan. Once these machine learning models and heuristic tests return a positive result, we'll send you an email similar to the one you see on the screen. It says you may qualify for up to $25,000. And so once, as a seller, you click the button, if you're approved, we can originate and facilitate funds to you within 24 hours. And so it's a seamless, transparent process. With respect to how the machine learning actually works. Unfortunately, I can't get too deep into the mechanics of it. But on the left side, you can see here that, ideally we want one feature or one characteristic about our sellers that creates this nice separation between the two distributions of people who would be able to pay us back and people who would then go on to default. The reality is a little bit more complicated. Something like the right distribution on the right. It's very tough to create one feature or one heuristic that describes a seller's proclivity to pay us back for a loan. And so the hope with machine learning is that from the thousands of features that we can create, from seller transaction histories, from the recency of their payments, velocity, and cadence, we can create a more holistic picture and create machine learning models that have hundreds of features that provide a very comprehensive and cumulative picture of a seller's not just history, but forecasted future on Square.
So this is an onboarding center. This is where inventory is becoming onboard. This is inventory that we've bought and that third parties have sent us that we can then sell on the website. And here we use sophisticated computer vision systems to be able to look inside those boxes so that we know if we ordered 10 iPads, for example, that we have 10 iPads of the right make and model and capacity inside those boxes. We're able to do that automatically, and everything that passes that test goes to be automatically stowed and ready for sale on the website, and everything that isn't goes to a human for managing the exceptions. From there, we use robotic systems. This is an Amazon robot. They lift about 12-foot stacks of inventory, about 750 pounds, and they move this around the fulfillment center for us. So Amazon fulfillment centers aren't organized like supermarkets. They're not all organized in neat rows of all the books together and all the CDs and all the Blu-ray together. We use a random stow technique, so we just shove stuff in wherever there's a gap. This is much more efficient for stowage, and it's actually more efficient for retrieval if you can do it automatically. So we use these robots to move the inventory around for us, to the extent that we used to have humans who used to have to walk around these large facilities to pick up the produce, a lot like Instacart do today. But today, we're able to use the robots and they bring the produce to the humans. So the human stays in one place and these robots scoot around autonomously and bring the produce to the picker, who can pick it up, put it in a box, and off it goes for fulfillment.
I'm very proud to welcome and to present Steve Wozniak. Steve Wozniak, Apple co-founder. You guys, everyone in this room certainly knows him and needs no introduction. But it's clear we wanted to have someone that is able to talk about AI, but also how it bridges into the way we humanly interact with technology. And it's with great pleasure that I'd like to call on stage Deirdre Bowser from CNBC, who will be running an interview with Steve Wozniak. Welcome. Steve, there's a big audience waiting for you. Welcome so much.
Gee, what do I gotta do to get that kind of applause, huh, Steve? Welcome everyone. It is so great to be here. Steve was telling me he actually drove in. I got in yesterday, and we're thrilled to be here.
Reminds me of one of the horrible parts of technology, navigation systems.
Navigation systems. Well, eventually you won't have to drive yourself, right? There'll be a car driving you. Now, I wanted to jump right into it. For those that don't know, I'm a reporter at CNBC. I'm based in San Francisco, and I cover technology. So I have to start off, Steve, by really thanking you, because my job is to cover tech, and I'm thankful to you for the notion that anyone can or should own a computer. Without you, who knows what my job would be. Let's go back 30 years, that moment, and I just checked the market cap of Apple this morning. I knew it was getting close to $1 trillion. It's at $800 billion. Did you ever imagine this is where it would go?
No. Neither one of us did. We thought we had a great product, and we were good, and we could possibly have a big company. Big is whatever you want to judge it, you know. When you're in your 20s, oh my gosh, $1 million company, unheard of. But yeah, but we thought we'd go somewhere.
$1 million or $1 billion?
$1 million. It said $1 million. What's a long time ago? And we thought, but even near his death, Steve was gone. He said, did you ever, imagine, where it would go? So, and our ideas of what the industry would be like and how people would use computers on their own was so wrong that if we were right, this industry never would have happened. Fortunately, we had a platform, and all the millions of smart people out there, kind of open source-ish, could apply and develop new things like music keyboards, plug it into a computer, and quality got better and better. So eventually, it became important in our lives. Well, it was from the beginning. It was just, who needs a $2,000 typewriter? Who needs a $2,000 machine that will reconcile your checkbook if you can spend all the time to read and checks off paper, off a cassette tape?
I'm sure. And so what are some of the most surprising things now? Did you ever imagine computers being used the way they are now?
Well, the main thing is, the displays got more realistic to where you're looking at a display nowadays, and you may not be able to tell if it's fake, with avatars, or is it real people. So the presentation quality, and that involved the speed of processors going up. It's all the Moore's Law stuff. The amount of storage and memory that we have on disk. We didn't even have a disk when we started the company, but the amount of storage that we can store is everything. When we started Apple, the amount of memory to hold a song, you think about computers do normal personal things nowadays, including holding music. The amount of memory that held a song cost close to $1 million. So do you really envision, oh my gosh, someday there'll be movies on little cards, and you'll have 50 movies on a little card.
Or not even on the card anymore, right? Up in the cloud.
Up in the cloud.
So it's amazing how far I've come. Now, before we get to you know, the current technological revolution we're seeing right now in artificial intelligence, I want to go back a little bit to what came after the PC, the smartphone. Did you see that coming?
Well, there was an iPod in the middle. As a matter of fact, our company's valuation built upon the one PC we started with was all of our revenues for the first 10 years of Apple. And then the Macintosh took over from the Apple II, and we were the same size. So we didn't grow. We didn't grow with a new computer that you could see into. We didn't grow with a new operating system, the iPod. We wrote our music program for Windows and Macintosh users, so everyone in the world could buy our iPod. Sales doubled, profits doubled, board of directors gave Steve Jobs billions of dollars and the jet airplanes. So that was in the way. Now the iPhone was kind of like the really great product that told us, oh my gosh, I've never had something so powerful. But it was really just a start. And the first iPod only had Apple's apps. No third-party app store, no possibility of Ubers and Airbnbs and you know, airline reservations and restaurant reservations. None of that stuff that really changes how we live the most.
What is it about Apple, though, to anticipate what a customer wants before they know that they want it? I mean, before the iPod, there was MP3 players. Sony was, you know, there was the Walkman, the Discman. And before the iPhone, there was the Palm and, you know, BlackBerry. And these were seen as good enough. But what is it about Apple that was able to, you know, create a revolution?
Yeah, first of all, Apple had a very strong following based on a lot of things that happened from the start of the company on. A lot of following among people who were, I don't know, educators and that kind of people. We were making computers easy compared to other people. So we had an advantage of a built-in audience that would look at our stuff. And the iPhone. I was on the board of directors of companies that made some of these prior smartphones. But the iPhone kind of came out and surprised everyone. The entire screen is a display. It's not full of little clicky buttons even to type. And a whole methodology came about. And it said, your phone's not important because it can reach the internet. The internet is the most important thing. This is a little internet device in your hand. But you know, it was still in early days for that. The iPhone did not even have 3G cellular connection, just 2G at first. So it took a while to get up to the sort of life we enjoy now. Oh my gosh, I can watch videos, I can share videos, pictures, all that stuff. It was still a little bit hard in the early days of the iPhone. But the iPhone changed our life. I get asked a lot, what changed your life the most of Apple's? And I used to say the iPhone, but now I say the third-party app store.
Has changed,
A little bit of openness, let a lot of other people take it where they can. Build a platform.
Okay, let's look forward a little bit now. The reason we're here, artificial intelligence. Now, you said back in 1975 that you knew the moment the computer revolution started. I'm sorry, you said it was 1975 at the Homebrew Computer Club. When is the moment, or what is the pivotal moment that you knew that AI started?
Wow. You know, I've been following AI, and how does the computer relate to a brain? Software with steps telling it what to do, hardware that can do certain calculations. And all my life I grew up thinking a computer can't ever get near a brain, never will. And I'd ride my bicycle over to Stanford Artificial Intelligence Laboratory, SAIL. I'd ride it, it was a long ride. And I'd go there and they had machines that could pick up a blue ball and put it in a blue box. And I thought, what, you're calling that intelligence? And it's like, you know, it's like kind of like they taught a computer to play tic-tac-toe. And I built one when I was 10 years old. But you say, that's intelligence, it's just a set of rules. And then the computer could play checkers. You said, well, that's not a complicated enough game to be like a brain. And then computers could play chess. So they kind of, every time they got higher and higher, we still said, it's not intelligence. We knew there was a difference. And I got a little bit scared during the days of Singularity, the book that came out from Ray Kurzweil. And I started thinking, well, at first I said, no, it's totally wrong. A computer doesn't work the way a brain does. It's not intuitive. It can do things very, very fast, but it can't think of new ideas. And then Ray Kurzweil's method of predicting a singularity was based on exponential curves of amount of data and how much it would process, equaling the brain by a certain year. And I said, that is the right way to predict things. On exponential curves, like Moore's Law, you don't see a change. You don't see a change. Ask Nokia, ask BlackBerry. You don't see a change, and then all of a sudden it happens. It's sort of there. So I thought, oh my gosh, what if, you know, machines along 200 years ago in Manchester, England, the machines won the war. They learned how to make cheap clothing. So then you'll fire the humans, but never the machine that makes your cheap clothing. And so the machines won the war on that level, but the physical work, assembling cars has obviously, undergone a huge transition in our lifetime. But that was physical work, and now machines are starting to get up, replacing more and more mental work. I want answers, even if it's just calculating, 87 plus 32. I mean, I used to do it in my head. Now I'll just ask Siri. So machines got more and more like human intelligence. And I remember Apple had the new message pad. You could handwrite with your own human muscles. The day I got it, San Francisco airport with my kids, I opened it up and I found out I could write on a notepad a word I could handwrite it, and the machine knew what the word was. Cool. And then I got a phone call and I wrote a message. Sarah, that's my daughter, Sarah, dentist, Tuesday, 2 p.m., so I could look at it later and remind myself, put it on the calendar. And I saw a button called Assist, and I clicked the Assist button, not knowing what it would do. It opened up the calendar. Tuesday at 2 p.m., it put the word dentist, and it grabbed Sarah out of my contact list. And I was stunned. That changed my life forever. I said, this machine, I wrote something for a human, and a machine understood me for the rest of my life. I want to live as much as I can in the human world. So if I wanted to phone a friend of mine, I would handwrite, call Jim, and I'd push Assist and go beep, 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 and I didn't have to reach over to a phone and do the structure, 3534747. The machine did it for me. I loved being in that. I just live in a human world. I don't have to think about how to operate machines. I don't have to memorize instructions. And then we got Siri. Well, Siri was an app on the iPhone for a year before Apple had it. I was all over saying Siri is so great. I'm starting to think it's like a friend, it's like a human. Oh my gosh, if thinking is getting closer to the way humans really think, what happens if it hits economics? You look at your big financial trades, and 80% of them, computer to computer in milliseconds. If you put a slow human in the middle, you lose money. So what if you have a company and you skip the CEO and it makes more money?
Tell me the difference then. What the difference between that? Should automation be used in driving then? It sounds to me like you're not a huge fan of automating the driving process or what Tesla's doing.
I think we're going to be a long ways to getting to level 5. I mean, Audi shows off some cars that are level 4. Level 5 is, it just totally thinks for itself. Level 4 is, it kind of thinks for itself, but if it can't handle it, it just stops. At least it's safe. Tesla's kind of down at level 2. And artificial intelligence is the mistaken phrase. It's not intelligence. It's still a bunch of set of rules called simulated intelligence. We make you think their car is doing some smart things that you do with your brain, but it's not really thinking for itself yet. That's a ways off. And when it does, will it be able to handle the real world the way humans do? And I'd like to see it shown, demonstrated first.
So then, yes or no, should this kind of technology be used in cars? In a world where we have self-driving cars, is that a good or bad thing?
Yes, I'm sorry, don't misunderstand me. The technology should be developed and used because we're driven to make changes in the world, and sometimes when we make a change, there's negatives that go along with the positives. Right from our own computers and personal smartphones, you can look at, a lot of people like to look at negatives. I just looked at the positives. For example, Steve Jobs and I, when we started the company, we said, what do we want to do? We want to make blind people more equivalent to sighted people. That was our goal. And we succeeded, because everywhere you go, you see people walking along, staring at their phones, and
Artificial intelligence is something that is not, it actually has quite a bit of a history. Starting actually many centuries actually ago, when people actually started to think about living, what we call a thinking methods or thinking a mechanism. Of course, at the time it was all kind of started with theoretical concepts and ideas. Later on, it actually evolved with the history towards the 50s, of course, which is many years later, to actually machines, basic machines that did simple things, like calculation at the time, okay? If it's adding, subtracting, later on even making some graphics. This, of course, phenomena fascinated people at the time, if it's scientists, if it's the people in the world. And of course, from that, we had, I would say, with every decade, we actually had almost like quantum leap when it comes to AI. Today, of course, AI, I would say for the past 20 years, artificial intelligence becomes something major in our life, even without us being aware of it. Today, many of the concepts are embedded within many systems, all the way computer programs, web applications, and somewhat into mobile application as well. A few examples. IBM has a system called Watson. I don't know if you heard about it, but Watson is supposed to be a web interface to a completely artificial intelligence engine that assists, with decision making, with information, data, knowledge, etc. I was involved within my personal career. I was involved a few times in life within other companies, developing methods for AI, if it's IBM, a bit at Intel, and recently, of course, for the past few years, in heavily with the GOPH protocol.
Introducing GOPH Protocol's DDrone technology, which uses artificial intelligence, AI, to create the world's first smart drone. This new drone technically uses machine learning to give drones advanced flight capabilities. Our new AI drone technology can solve complex problems related to geolocations, weather conditions, and obstacle avoidance. This enables the smart drone to fly intelligently and safely to give you the exact flight you want. We designed our AI system with two main features. One is its capacity to learn, and the other is its ability to solve complex problems in real time. The DDrone AI system is equipped with deep learning, similar to IBM Watson's, which allows it to dynamically solve complex calculations. We created this technology to perform tasks, make decisions, and solve problems based on its massive parallel processing and learning capabilities. In essence, the system continuously learns from its previous flights. This cutting-edge system can calculate an incredible number of possible scenarios in a fraction of a second and analyze dynamic conditions to pick the best response to achieve a successful drone mission.